What's going on, my math party people? I'm Anderson, your ASVAB coach, and welcome to this free 2-hour recording where I'm going to show you how to master proportions. So for example, have you seen problems where with a proportion, you automatically try to solve with cross, multiply, and divide? Well, the thing is, that's one of 3 main ways to solve proportions. And the reason that it's important to know more than one way is because you need to know which way is going to be the fastest on the ASVAB. It's not just about knowing how to do it, it's about knowing how to do it the fastest way possible. So with that said, enjoy this video, and if you like the classes, feel free to sign up for my free practice test that includes the registration for free classes once a week. And if you're already there and you're watching this video, then consider joining my all access program. That way you can get all the live classes you need, all the extra practice, and coach support all the way until you pass. Without further ado, let's go ahead and ace the ASVAB, and let's get to it. And let's go ahead and get started. So to get started here, first question is that I always get, it's what is a proportion? Okay, so first off, like I said earlier, a ratio is just a fraction. So if anybody here didn't know this by heart yet, I hope that you can understand this now. A proportion is literally 2 fractions that are the same. That's it. 2 fractions that are the same. So if you need to write that down right here, here it is. What are proportions? 2 fractions that are the same. So a fraction, everybody, yes or no? Do we understand a fraction as being part of a whole? Yes or no? Hey, what's up, Kelly? Welcome in. But do we understand fractions as part of a whole? Cool. I like that a lot of you understand that, because all a proportion is literally an equation that says, hey, these are the same parts of the same wholes. That's it. That's all a proportion is. These are the same parts of the same wholes. These are literally the same fractions. That is it. Now, obviously, it's going to get a little more complicated than that when we start solving and whatnot, but this is what I do. So if you're new here, listen up. One of the things that I always do in my classes is in the beginning, I set you up for success by making sure that we really talk about and understand the fundamentals. So when you understand the fundamentals, it makes growing and understanding more that much easier. So with that said, again, proportions are literally 2 fractions that are the same. Now, there's something very important that you need to write down as well, and it's this. The key to proportions, write this for sure. Write this down. This is going to be especially useful for tomorrow's class. The main note that I have for you for proportions is compare the same things in the same way. I'm going to show you exactly what that means, but I need everybody to go ahead and write that down. Compare the same things in the same way. Because remember, today's class is all about understanding proportions. But the big issue that a lot of people face is not understanding the fundamentals and not understanding the strategies. So allow me to be your guide today and follow my plan. The plan is going to be writing these notes down. Then we're going to go through some guided warm-ups together. And then we're going to practice on our own, timed, to see how well we can do. And we'll have plenty of it. So if you follow this plan today, and if you stick with it, then what's going to happen is we're going to avoid some of that test anxiety, the blanking out on problems. But instead, it's going to be replaced with that ultimate confidence that you can take with you even after class ends. So follow this and we're good to go. Compare the same things in the same way. Main key to proportions. And again, proportions are just 2 fractions that are equal. So here's an example. Let's go ahead and say we're talking about this example right here. Let's say we have 1 boy for every 2 girls in class. And so if there are 12 girls in class, then there are 6 boys. So here's what this kind of looks like. So if we look at this first part here, let me go ahead and just grab dark blue. Right there. So there is 1 boy for every 2 girls. If we go ahead and write this out, we have 1 over 2. 1 boy, 2 girls. Now, if we go ahead and set this equal to the other side, here's what this will look like. There are 12 girls in class. All right, everybody, if we just saw 12 girls here, are we putting that in the numerator or denominator? What are we doing? Come on, Nakia, you're supposed to give me a chance. Yeah, we're going to put it on the bottom. That's right. We're going to be placing it in the denominator because remember, proportions compare the same things in the same way. So if you're just coming in here, welcome in, everybody. So we're doing proportions today. And again, the main note is compare the same things in the same way. In this example, one boy for every 2 girls. If you have 12 girls, that means we're placing 12 here. And then there are 6 boys. So we'll place 6 boys up top. Just like that. All right. Now, that's not the reason why I'm showing you this right now. The reason I'm showing you this is to show you exactly what a proportion is. Again, it's the same comparison in the same way. So, question. Yes or no? One of the ways that we can solve proportions is cross multiplying and dividing. Yes or no? One more time. You can solve a proportion by cross multiplication and division. Great, great. Sounds good. So here's what we can do. If we have the 1 over 2 equals 6 over 12, as we do right there, what happens if we cross multiply? Everybody, what is 1 times 12? What's that going to be? Yeah, that's pretty easy. And then what's 2 times 6? The same thing, exactly. The same thing. So notice, if we cross multiply, it creates an equation that is true. And that is why cross multiplication and division works. Let's go ahead and take a look at this another way. That is method number 1. But I want to show you the other ways that a proportion can work. So allow me to start blowing some minds here. Over here, we're going to place 1 over 2, 6 over 12. So remember this, everybody. One of the ways to solve a proportion is cross multiplying and dividing. We all know that, but got to show you the other ways too. So remember, with a proportion, compare the same things in the same way. Watch this. Everybody, quick question. What do I multiply 1 by to get to 6? What do I multiply 1 by to get to 6? Right, it would be multiplied by 6. 1 times 6 is 6. And remember, I'm going to say it a million times. I'm going to sound annoying. You're going to hate me for maybe like ever, maybe. But what you are going to get is the candor that you need to really understand this the right way. So 1 times 6 is 6. Everybody, what is 2 times 6? 12. So we compared the same things the same way and it worked out. Look at that. Look at this. 1 to 6 times 6. That's what you have to do. But does that work for all left to right? Yeah, because if I go left to right on the bottom, it still works. Again, let me prove it to you. Compare the same things in the same way. Watch this. I'm going to be even more annoying. Everybody, how do I go from 6 to 12? What do I multiply 6 by to get 12? Times 2. Let's go ahead and try it out here. Times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Everybody, if I compare top to bottom on the other side, does that still work? Does that still work? It does. It does. So before we even continue, did anybody here learn something new today? If you've been to my classes before, you might have seen this before, but has anybody here learned anything new so far? Right on. Hey, I appreciate that. That's what's up. Now, here's the thing. I'm showing you this because this is going to allow you to be way more successful much, much faster. If all you're doing is sticking to cross multiplication and division, it's going to prove to slow you down in the future. This is why knowing other methods of solutions and solving, this is what's going to really prove to save you on the ASVAB. And so let's go ahead and get to it, my party people. Again, what we just did was I just showed you 3 main ways of solving proportions. One of them, a lot of us knew, cross multiplication and division. But the other 2 ways, what we did was a horizontal comparison. So literally left to right. That's all horizontal means, left to right. And then we did a vertical comparison, top to bottom. So one more time. Here's what that meant again. If we went left to right on the top, that's times 6. 1 to get to 6 is times 6. And so we were able to copy that method on the bottom. It's going to work. It is guaranteed to work because remember, with a proportion, all you're doing is comparing the same things in the same way. That's why this works. And so if you compare top to bottom in blue over here, 1 to 2 times 2. 6 to 12 also times 2. That works. And so if this is starting to make a little bit of sense, but not all the sense in the world, that's probably because we need some more practice. And that's what we're going to do right now. So here are the 3 main ways that I just discussed. One was the setup to cross multiply and divide. That's method number 1. This is your primary method. Like if all else fails, cross multiplication and division will always work no matter what. It will, no matter what. So if you get stuck, there's your main method. But sometimes the numbers are convenient enough for you to use one of these alternate methods, using an up-down comparison or simplification, or doing left-right or horizontal simplification or comparison. I'm going to go ahead and write that down as a comparison as well here. Right there and right there. Okay, so here's the thing, everybody. This is why this is so important. So let me show you the primary way of doing things with this problem that we see right there. And then I'm going to show you why it's so valuable to know these other techniques. So let me repeat the problem that we see right there for those of us that might not be able to see it. We have 5 over 12 equals 10 over x. So let's go ahead here and let's pretend to be ignorant. Let's pretend that we only know the cross multiplication and division. Let's pretend for a moment. Follow along. I got you. So if I cross multiply, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have 5 multiplied by x. Everybody, what's 5 times x? That's pretty hard. What's that going to be? We're doing such hard math today, right? So 5x, right? 5 times x, that's going to be 5x. Right on. Now from there, what is 12 times 10? Man, another hard multiplication. What is 5 times? Okay, 120. Okay. And somebody help me out. Somebody raise your hand if you want to use the microphone to answer this question. What do we need to do to solve this equation here? What do we need to do? If someone wants to raise your hand, Chimen, go ahead. You have the mic now.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna find the x by doing x equal 120 divided by 5.
Correct. And so what we're doing here, we're going to be dividing both sides by 5. Exactly. Thank you, Chiman.
You're welcome.
So boom, right there, divide both sides by 5, cancel that out. And now you're looking at this and you're saying, oh, how many times does 5 go into 120? Everybody, do we just wake up knowing that? How many times 5 goes into 120? Or do we have to do a little bit of mental math here or a little bit of long division? Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of long division, right? Just a little bit of long division. So let's go ahead and try this out. Long division sounds good. Let's zoom on in. So 5 going into 120. This is fun. How many times does 5 go into 12? Everybody help me out, man. Loretta, hell. So yeah, that's going to be 2 here. Subtract that 10. Got 2 left. Drop that 0. Everybody, how many times does 5 go into 20? Okay, that's going to be 4. Yep. And that's going to be a clean 20. So we don't have any remainders. Sounds good. So Ronald and Marquette, I'm going to go ahead and lower your guys' hands. That way I can ask the next question here. But there it is. We end up getting 24. Sounds good. So x equals 24. And we live happily ever after. Things are great, right? Pause. Here's the problem. On the ASVAB, everybody, yes or no, the ASVAB is timed. Yeah, the ASVAB's timed. what if there was a way that you could look at a problem and solve it with understanding? Like you knew that this strategy works and it allowed you to put your pencil down and simply look at the answer. That would be awesome, right? That's a rhetorical question. I don't need you guys to answer that. And that's correct, Mario. Mental Math has entered the chat. Bienvenidos and welcome to math. So here's what's going to happen. Let's take a look at this one more time. Let's take a look at this. 5 over 12 equals 10 over x. What I want to ask is, does anybody notice a relationship either top to bottom or left to right? Raise your hand if you'd like to go ahead and use the mic to explain what you see. But what do we notice about this proportion? Is there any comparison that we might be able to see here? I see people saying, okay, so Nakia says times 2 left to right. Diamonds and Ashley say 2. I'm assuming you mean times 2. That's right, Stephanie. Yeah, exactly. They go into each other evenly. So let me ask this, everybody. Yes or no? Is 5 times 2 equal to 10? I want everybody to answer that question as rhetorical as that might sound. As rhetorical as that might sound, 5 times 2 is indeed 10. So with that said, if I'm making that comparison left to right, I can make that comparison left to right on the top and the bottom. And so watch this. Everybody, what's 12 times 2? What is 12 times 2? X equals 24. Look at that. We were able to solve this problem. And technically, yes, technically I wrote down on the screen, of course, but it's only to show you what's happening mentally, left to right. Look at this. We got x equals 24 there. Didn't we just get x equals 24 over here? We did. And I got y'all muted, but I think I heard like 2 or 3 jaws drop. And that's how this is going to work. So, David, I hope you're enjoying classes so far, man. And so with that, this is how I like to run things, man. I like to show you the common way that things are done, and then just present an idea of how things could be done. And if you like the way that things are run and you like that new way, add it to your tool belt. Add it to your tool belt. That way you can have an easier time. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much sense does that new strategy make to you personally? On a scale of 1 to 10. I will take all 1000s and above as a year. That's how I'll take that. Big 10. It always works. Yes. If the numbers are convenient, yes, it'll work. Sometimes there are situations where you're forced to do cross multiplication and division. But the thing is, when those situations arise, you cannot hesitate. Cross multiply, divide, and all that matters at that point is speed. But if the numbers are convenient, like this right here, take advantage. Take absolute advantage of that because it will, for sure, guaranteed work. Yes, I got you. And so with that, my party people, let's go ahead and take a look at some more examples here. So I want to go ahead and give everybody here literally 1 minute, 15 seconds for all 6 of these problems. Again, I'm not pressuring anybody here. Go ahead, try these out. Take a minute 15. See if you can try to do them mentally. You can do them by hand, however you'd like. But if you feel like you're still getting warmed up, just try to do one. Just try to do one. Pick one. Try to do it. I'm not here to pressure you. I do want to show you how you can get better, though. So we have another 45 seconds, 50 seconds left. Go ahead and type ready when you're ready. So if your goal is 1 problem, type ready when you're done with 1. If your goal is all 6, type ready when you're done with all 6. Oh, hey, Samuel, welcome in, man. Oh, yeah, so I actually just went over all the strategies for this, but I'm going to go over it for each and every single one of these. So stay put. I got you. Try these out if you like, but we're going to go over all of these. So we still have 25 seconds, guys. You're good. Just try one if you want to. Again, this is about building confidence. So we got to see why first. Oops, I got somebody who needs the link. Still got about 15 seconds here. Let me go ahead and send somebody the link real quick. All right, so we're looking at our final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cool. So was everybody here? Give me a yes or a no. Were you able to finish at least one? Yes or no? Were you able to finish at least one? At least one. That's really what's important to me right now. Hey, Pedro, that's one more than one. That's good. That's all good. Again, I want to see where we are at in terms of our confidence with this. That's really what I want to know. Okay, so even if you weren't able to finish any, again, there's no shame in that. Let's go ahead and work to really understand what we can do. All right. And so with that said, let's go ahead and start off with numero uno. All right, so number one here, we've got 6/2 equals m/6. So let me go ahead and show you the original method. Then we're going to start using some shortcut rules if we can apply them, if it's convenient. So if we cross multiply, everybody, 6 times 6 is what? Hit me. 36. And then 2 times m, hit me everybody in the chat box. Correct, that's going to be 2m. That's right. So we have 2m equals 36. Now, everybody, in a complete sentence, go ahead and let me know in the chat box what the next move that needs to be made is. What is it going to be? In a complete sentence, don't get lazy. What is it going to be? Mario, Alex, for sure, divide by 2 on both sides. There it is. Yep. So the correct answer here, the only suggested answer is divide both sides by 2. Because when we do that, remember, solving equations is literally working backwards. The 2 and the m are literally being multiplied as we saw. And so to get rid of the 2, we divide it on both sides. And so once we do that, cancels out right there. I'm gonna have to make that thinner if I want that to look like anything that makes sense. Right there. And what we're left with is m equals what, everybody? That's correct, everybody. Yep, 18. That's right. That's right. That's right. And so for this first problem here, we would have gotten m equals 18. But allow me to show you how we perhaps may have been able to do this a little faster. And so, Jose, I'll take your question right after this if you still have it. So, everybody, do we notice any sort of relationship anywhere at all? Right, if we compare the denominators, we might be able to look at some sort of relationship here. Exactly. So, again, you can work it left to right, top to bottom, bottom to top, right to left. As long as you're doing it the same way on both sides, you're fine. Watch this. You can do it like this if you wanted to. Everybody, how do you go from 2 to 6? What do you do from 2 to get to 6? That's right, Kevin. That's right, Cassandra, Deonis, Stefan. That's right. Times 3. Times 3 relationship. And again, what proportions are the same comparisons in the same way. If I'm going bottom to top, then I'll go bottom to top in the same way. So here's what I mean. The same comparison, bottom to top, in the same way, times 3, times 3. That's what I mean when I say compare the same things, bottom to top, in the same way, times 3, times 3. And so with that, everybody, 6 times 3 equals, correct, 18. And that is the answer. And again, we have the opportunity to get this problem done without even blinking. We can look at that and be like, times 3, 18, done. That's it. And that's it right there. So before I move on to number 2 and more, I do want to give the opportunity for our students here to ask questions because that's the kind of person I am. I want to make sure you guys help. So here we go. Jose, you're first, and then we'll get Kelly and Kayla.
I'm curious, Coach, because I was thinking that, is there, like in the test, will you ever get a problem like that, but without like the m, and it would just be another number, and you would still do it the same way, or?
Yep, I've seen it all the time. It
Okay,
happens
I
all
just
the
want to
time.
be sure, because I was like, what do you do if you get, instead of a letter, just a number? That's what I was curious
Oh,
about.
like 2 fractions equaling each other?
Yeah, something like that.
So you wouldn't really do anything at all with that. If they have you solve for anything, there's nothing to solve for. So that's not really a question that you'll see.
Oh,
I thought you
okay.
meant with like convenient numbers. Yeah, you'll see.
Oh, that too. That one too. I was thinking about that, but I won't be sure.
Yeah, you'll see convenient numbers a lot on the ASVAB for sure. Like if they ever ask you a question like what is 20% of like 60, that's a proportion. And we'll get into that tomorrow for sure. But
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, no worries, man. Good question. So next up, Kelly. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, coach. Sorry, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little loud, but yeah, I got you.
I'm sorry. Hey, man. I simply did it in the faster way. I guess I just did the three when they asked the two equal to 6 on the bottom. I just added three and multiplied by the 2 by 3. Then I did the same thing on the top two. Then I got 18 without get the 26 or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Then that would perfectly work. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me prove it to you right here. 2 to 6 times 3. 6 to m times 3. Same relationship. 6 times 3 is still 18. Still works. Again,
So
as long as you're comparing the same things in the same way, you did it like this. You compared the same things left to right in the same way by multiplying by 3. Perfectly fine. Excellently executed. Correct.
yeah, coach. Next questions. What about the number 3? So I just leave it. Yes.
We'll get to that when we'll get to it. I got you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, no worries. Kayla, you're up.
So this is one of these situations where it's like whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, or and like whatever you do to one side, you do the same to the other.
Well, yeah,
Like-
that's essentially how you're solving equations. And this is specific for proportions. And I hope that Kayla, like one thing you may have noticed so far with math is that typically when you try to preserve a balance and try to do things on one side the same way you do to the other, whether it's top, bottom, top, left, right, you typically see that as long as you keep things balanced, it's allowed. Like you can do it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what's happening here. What we're doing here is a comparison. We're not multiplying the bottoms and tops by 3. We're simply looking at how we get from one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that we're
All
looking at how we get there and then applying it to the other side.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Great questions, by the way, guys. Those are 3 great questions. Let's go ahead and move over here to number 2, then 3, and so forth. So, everyone, do we have to cross multiply and divide here? Yes or no? Do we have to? Nope, we do not. We absolutely do not. We can go ahead and just look at this and say, hey, 5 to 10. Everybody, what do I multiply by? That's right. We're just going to multiply by 2. That's right. And so 10 to k times 2. Everybody, 10 times 2 is what? 20. Correct. And we're done. That's the idea. Again, these first 6 problems can all be solved with that convenience. The next 6, we'll see. But let's go and take a look at number 3 here, guys. Let's go. Number 3, again, we see those same 6s there. The ones that come after this don't involve those same numbers. So you're fine. These are just coincidences. So with this one, you may be looking at this and saying, well, is there a convenient situation? And the thing is, well, is there not? Can I see a clear path from one to the other? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. But everybody, let me ask you this. If I wanted to, everybody tell me this. If I wanted to simplify 6 over 9, if I wanted to simplify 6 divided by 9, everybody, what can we divide out of both 6 and 9? We could. We absolutely could divide 3. And that's what we're going to do. So here's what I'm doing. Another strategy is you can simplify whatever you need to. You can simplify anything that you might notice. So what we're doing here is, let me grab this and move it a little lower. We are going to simplify the fraction. We are going to simplify. Why are we doing this? Because it allows us to be able to see things a little more clearly. Everybody, quick, 6 divided by 3 is? Right on. And 9 divided by 3 is? 3. So what's going to happen is this turns into 2 over 3. I can replace 6 over 9 with 2 over 3. Yes or no? Does everybody see that? I simplified the 6 over 9 to get 2 out of 3. And what I'm allowed to do now is replace 6 over 9 with 2 over 3. That is what we can do to be able to see the convenience of this situation. Watch here. We can now replace this with n over 6 equals 2 over 3. That's all we did. Oh yeah, absolutely. Karina, we can cross multiply and divide and get this right super fast too. So I'm presenting this to you for the bigger numbers. This is going to help you for the bigger ones. If you cross multiply and divide, you would have clearly seen that the answer here would have been 4. You could have done that really quick and you're good. So watch this. Yeah, the classes are recorded, Carlington. And if you want to look at the classes, if you want to look at the full program to get the recordings, there's the link right there, asvab.info/classes, and you're good. All right. So with that, let me go ahead and go back here. So asvab.info/classes is the link that you can go to. But here you are. What we can do now is now we can look at that comparison. Everybody, how do we go from 3 to 6? Times 2. Thank you, Stefan. And then from there, 2 to n will be the same relationship, times 2. 2 times 2, right there. N equals 4. Boom. There it is. Now, if you're looking at this problem and saying, hey, coach, why didn't you just cross multiply and divide? That probably would have been a little faster. I agree. I did this on purpose because I want to show you that these strategies, simplifying, comparisons, this is going to help you when the numbers get bigger and it looks pretty bad, but you can still simplify and make your life easier in the future. That's why I showed it that way. So watch this. Everybody, if we cross multiply and divide, what is n times 9? What's that going to give us? Correct, 9n. Then 6 times 6. Correct, 36. So everybody pay attention here. Watch this. Last thing we're going to do. Divide by 9 on both sides. 36 divided by 9 is 4. So either way, we'll get the same answer. Either way, we'll get the same exact answer. Either way, we can cross multiply and divide, or we can use that comparative thinking. Both ways work. Here we go. Number 4. Where has this been all my life? Probably enjoying Chipotle. That's pretty much what I do on my days off. But with that said, here we go. 4 over 12 equals V over 6. Let's try this one out, everybody. So if we wanted to go ahead and get this on, what we're going to have here, we can do this a couple different ways, everybody. We can seriously do this a couple different ways. Let me show you here. Let me just get rid of this 4 over here to really show you what's going on. All right. So watch this. There's a few different ways we can do this. Everybody, how do we go from, let's go ahead and say, 12 to 6. Oh, Karina. Oh, wait, who said they hate Chipotle? Ooh, Simone. I just called you my star pupil and you're telling me you hate Chipotle now. Everybody, don't be surprised if Simone loses connection. So let's go ahead here and let's take a look. So everybody, how do we go from 12 to 6? How do we go from 12 to 6? Don't just say 2. Give me an operation. Give me an operation. There we go. Divide by 2. We can divide by 2. So this is something that you may not have known about proportions. Yes, you can divide. You just can't add and subtract. Proportions are comparative by multiplication and division. If you didn't know this, multiplication and division are literally the same operation. Just how adding, you move to the right, subtracting, you move to the left, multiplying, make bigger, division, chunk down, make smaller. same operation, just depends on the direction. That's all it is. Multiplication and division are the same thing. And so you can interchange them whenever you want. So 12 to 6, divide by 2. Everybody, 4 to the answer, you would still divide by 2. Everybody, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Yes, you can divide. Yes, you can divide. Hey, it's okay, Sandra. It's okay. I got you. And so, boom, it works out just fine. Let me show you the other way as well, everybody. Like this. Everybody, how do you go from 12 to 4? How do you go from 12 to 4? Not multiply by 3. Not just a 3. Come on, be specific, guys. I'm not taking that laziness today. Come on, we got this. If I'm sick and I'm still teaching at 100%, I need y'all to give it to me. Come on, let's go. Yeah, divide by 3. There we go. Divide by 3. And so if we do the same thing here, 6 divided by 3, what's that going to be? Right. It's still gonna be 2. Again, as long as you, again, the idea, compare the same things in the same way, and you're good. But even if all else fails, remember that you should absolutely cross multiply and divide if you need to. 12 times V. Hit me, everybody. Participate here. Let's go. 12 times V, 12V. 4 times 6, what's that going to be? I got you, Christian. Raise your hand. I'll call on you in a second. 24, that's correct. So here what we'll do, divide by 12 on both sides. And then that will be 2. So again, everybody, I don't want anybody here to feel intimidated by this. These are just different strategies to accomplish the same goal. We're looking at these numbers right now and they're a little smaller, but once we get to those bigger numbers, this is where these strategies are going to start hitting home. Like, wow, this really does make sense. I got you. I really do got you. So Christian, go ahead, raise your hand, and I can call on you right now because there's 108 people in here. So it might be a little hard to find your name. So Christian first, then Drea.
Okay, so I was curious, the way, I guess I got this one wrong because I saw 6 and 12 and I went from 6 to 12 times 2, and then I went from 4 times 2 to V. So I guess that's why I got it wrong. Like you can't work backward, like from left, because then V times 2 wouldn't give, yeah, that would make sense. You're right. Okay. I see.
So everybody, that was called Self-Discovery. So welcome to Discovery Channel by Christian Waters. That was awesome. So with that, yeah, like that was self-discovery right there, Christian. That's awesome. I love seeing that. So here's what Christian was kind of getting at here. Let me actually go ahead and wipe the spit off that. So what Christian was looking at it from the other way around. Christian was looking at it like this. All right, so if we go from 6 to 12, that's multiplying by 2. So if we're going from V to 4, that's also times 2. And so when you look at it, what you're asking is, oh, what times 2 is going to give you 4? So you're actually working backwards there, and you're supposed to divide if you're going backwards, because you're saying what times 2 equals 4? 2 times 2 equals 4. So that's why 2 is still the answer there. So does that make a little more sense to everybody who tried to do it left to right or right to left and got 2 times 2? So Jose, great question. It doesn't matter. So Jose just asked, does the order matter? Yes, it does, but you have to be consistent. So if you're going right to left on the bottom, you go right to left the same exact way. Remember, compare the same things in the same way. Left to right, bottom to top, bottom to top. Any way you go, make sure it's the same way. Great job, guys. That's a great question there. And that's why this is going to be a great class for you. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of speed up just a little bit here. Janice, cross simplifying works when you're multiplying fractions. This is different. This is a proportion. Fractions are equaling each other here. So I want to make sure that you understand that they are different. Cool, no worries. And so I'm lowering the hands there. If I lowered your hand and you still had a question, raise it back up. You're good. But here, cross multiply and divide. Let's go. N times 4. 12 times 3. Then the last thing we'll do, divide by 4. That's the strategy that we all know and love. cross multiply and divide. A lot of us really understand this and we appreciate that. And so 36 divided by 4 is going to give us what? And that's going to be 9. For sure. That's going to be n equals 9. Right there. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Now, another way you could have gotten this done is like this. You could have said 4 to 12 times 3, 3 to n times 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. Boom. Done. Again, could have done it either way. Both ways work. Both ways work. So Zoe asks, why do you use 4 to divide with? So Zoe, good question. So what we're doing here is we are solving equations. So Zoe, remember this. Solving equations is all about working backwards to get the variable, to get the thing by itself. So Zoe, go ahead and get ready to answer this question for me. Between the 4 and the n right here, true or false? The 4 and the n are being multiplied right now. True or false for Zoe? So Zoe, right there, 4 and n right there, they're being multiplied, right? Yeah. And so to work backwards to get the n, the number we're looking for by itself, we're going to do the opposite operation. The opposite of multiplication, division. And that's why if we multiply by 4 and we divide by 4, we will cancel that out. That's why we divide by 4 there. So we can end up with n by itself. And Carrie Ann, thanks for letting me know. I know you're sick, so hope you feel better soon. But let me know, Zoe, if that makes sense there. We're working backwards, and that's why we divide by the number in front of the variable. That's why. So please let me know if that makes sense there. So with that, everybody, we're going forward here. Again, so Zoe, yeah, it's because the 4 is in front of the n in that situation. If we look at the 12 over here, so if you look at this one, Zoe, 12 times v, we had 12v. And what we divided by was 12 to get rid of the 12 in front of the v. Because remember, what we want is the variable by itself at the end. So to get this by itself, we had to divide by 12 to get rid of it. That's why, working backwards. And I have plenty of videos on solving equations to show you why this works. So I'd love to go ahead and send it your way. I got you. Yeah, I got you. And so if you have a question, remember, raise your hand. So Zach, go ahead and raise your hand and I will definitely answer it right after number 6 here. So here, if you take a look at this one, everybody, this is already kind of as simple as it gets. Or at least it looks like it. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to get this one done, everybody. I'm going to show you 2 ways to get this done. It's still going to work. So 1, cross multiply and divide. Help me out, everybody. 3 times x is going to be what? That's going to be 3x, correct? 2 times 9, everybody hit me. 2 times 9 is going to be 18, correct? And so what we're going to do here is, again, we're trying to get that x by itself here. But what we currently see on the x is that 3. So let's go ahead and get rid of it. Let's go ahead and divide both sides by that 3. So once we do that, we'll have the great opportunity to get rid of the 3 right there. And we'll have 18 divided by 3, which is what, everybody? Correct. It's going to be 6. Right on, right on. And so there we have that. So here's another way that we can do this. Here's another way that we can do this, everybody. One thing that we can do here is we can simplify. How? Like so. Here's one thing that not everybody knew was legal in math. So here's what we can do. Watch over here. Let me rewrite the problem. All right. So everybody, remember that with proportions, you're comparing the same things in the same way. And I remember Janice earlier asking, or I don't know if it was Janice or someone else, but someone was asking, okay, so it's like dividing the same thing on both sides, multiplying the same thing on both sides. And the answer in that moment, I know I said, oh no, it's comparing, but you can still multiply or divide the same thing to both sides. Here's how. Everybody, what are 3 and 9 both divisible by? No worries, Karina. I'm glad you got it. I appreciate that, Jose. But yeah, 3 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So here's the thing, everybody. if I divide the top over here by 3, does that mean I must also do the same thing to both sides and divide this top by 3 as well? Is that what that means? Yes or no? Ashley came in brave there. She said, yeah. And the answer is yes. With equations, remember, as long as you do the same thing to both sides, you're fine. You're fine. And so you can actually simplify the tops. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Watch this. Let me not use orange there. Let me use a different color. Let me use blue. And again, I know these numbers are smaller, but this is going to work when the numbers get bigger and tougher in the next examples like I'll show you. So watch that. Boom. We'll keep the 2 and we'll keep the x on the bottoms there. But everybody help me out here. If we have 3 divided by 3, that's going to be what? That's going to be 1. If we have 9 divided by 3, that's going to give us 3. Does this look a little more doable in terms of the eyeball comparison here, everybody? Yeah, because if you look at this, 1 to 3 times 3, 2 to 6 times 3, x equals 6. There it is. And that's why this works, everybody. Again, now we just went through cupcake numbers, but at the same time, this is going to give you every opportunity you need to solve these bigger numbers. And we're going to get to some bigger numbers. I can promise you that. But this is how it can work. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much sense do all of the strategies make to you so far? Right on. So now we're going to kick it up a notch. It's 7 o'clock. We're halfway through. You know how I run things. If you've been to my classes before, the first half, we go ahead and really get the fundamentals in like we just did. Perfect timing. We're now about to go to the next page here, and we're going to do some more problems. Now, I'm going to show you some problems where some of them are going to be convenient. Some of them are not. It's going to be up to you to quickly decide which way you're going to go. These decisions need to be made quickly. You need to be able to look at it and say, okay, I'm going to go this way or this way. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. And here's the thing. At least 2 of these problems are going to have decimal answers. I'm going to say that right now because I want you to feel the pressure that just magically appears the moment anytime someone mentions decimals, fractions, word problems. This is the start of combating those feelings of anxiety. I'm going to show you how to get it done, but first I have to show you what the feeling is to show you how to combat it. All right, everybody? So trust the process. Trust me. I got your back. I'm going to give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds to try to solve all 6 here. I got your back. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. That said, I do want to address Zach. Thank you for your patience, Zach. Go ahead. How can I help? And you can unmute yourself if you like. There you go.
Hear me now?
Yeah. What's up, boss?
All right, bro. Like the previous question on number 4, where it says 4 over 12 equals v over 6. I was wondering why you didn't divide by 4.
So you mean divide the top
Like the 4 over 12 when you do those that little little circle around. I got 1/3 and then equal to v over 6. And I did this 6 times 1, and then I divided by 3 and got 2.
Exactly. And that still would have worked.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that would have worked just fine. That's excellent show of understanding there. Perfect.
Appreciate it.
Hey, no worries, man. Thanks for asking. And so with that said, here we go, man. Let's go ahead and handle our business. So here we go, gang. We're taking a look at this. And if you look at number 7, everybody, with number 7, you know, if you look at this, you can say, hey, oh, I see an easy connection here. 6 going backwards, I would divide by 3. But everybody, or if actually you go forward, excuse me, wow. If you go 2 to 6, you see a times 3 relationship. So that means 5 to the answer times 3 relationship. So everybody, 5 times 3, hit me with it. 15. N equals 15. That would be it right there. I'm going to do this very quickly. If you would have cross multiplied, then divide by 2 on both sides, we can still get 15. We can still get 15 there, for sure. So both ways would have worked, cross multiplication or looking at the comparison, both work just fine. But I'm pretty sure not everybody here had an issue with that one. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Let's see if we have an issue on this one. So if we're looking at this, I might be taking a look at this and saying, hey, if I want to go from 4 to V, how do we do 6 to 3? Well, what would happen there is divide by 2. So if I ask myself what 4 divided by 2 is, everybody, we get, I see 2 people there. Who else? Yeah, it's gonna be 2. And again, if you're not sure, cross multiply and divide all day. I got you. V times 6, 6V. 4 times 3, that'll give us 12. And so what we need to do here is go ahead and look at the 6 and the 12. I'm gonna divide both sides by 6 here. And we end up getting V equals 2. Same answer, all good, all day. All good, all day. So we should be good there. I'm sure, a lot of us were looking at that like, yeah, cool, so fine, so far so good. And so Gene, remember, multiplication and division are pretty much the same thing. The reason that I chose to divide here was because I said, hey, how can I get to the answer here? Well, I know that on this side, I can go from 6 to 3, and I do that by dividing by 2. So if I look at the left side, I had to do the same thing. And so I would divide by 2. Again, it's about multiplication or division. That's the comparison that you're making. You can multiply or divide. Either way works. So let me know if that makes sense, Gene. Let me know if that makes sense. Yeah, multiplication and division are the same thing. But I know a lot of us are looking at this like, okay, Mr. Duran, we're looking at you like, yo, this one, number 9. How do we do it? Now, did anybody purposefully avoid this problem for the simple reason being that you might end up with a decimal? No one avoided this problem. You all tackled this one like, we got this, we're good. I see y'all, sounds good. Let's go ahead and check it out, man. So here we go. If you're looking at this, you might be tempted to go from 4 to 8 and say times 2. But the thing is, if you go like this, times 2, this will let you go forward, right? But you're trying to go backward. You're trying to go the other way. You're trying to go the other way. And so what we're going to do, boom, go the other way around. And Samuel, I got you. We're going to have bigger numbers to deal with. I got you. Don't worry. Don't you worry, man. I got you. So you can go the other way around and you can say, hey, divide by 2. Divide by 2. I went right to left on the top and bottom. And so you just want to ask yourself, what is 3 divided by 2? And so a lot of us might know that as 1.5. And that's what it's going to be. It will be 1.5. You can try to divide 2 into 3. 2 goes into 3 one time. And then you bring the decimal down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. That'll work out just like that. You could have cross multiplied and divided. You still would have gotten 1.5. Still would have gotten 1.5 any way that you would have done it. So that would be the answer there. Marquette, go ahead.
Hello?
Gotcha.
Okay, so why did we go backwards instead of going forwards?
Yeah, so the reason we went the other way around is because if we would have gone forward, so 4 to 8 is times 2, you would have looked at this and said, okay, multiply this by 2 to get 3. So we're not trying to figure out what 3 is because we already know what that is. So that's why I went the other way around. So that way I could perform something on the 3 to get to the answer. Does that make a little more sense there?
Sort of.
No worries. So I'll try to explain another way here. So again, if we would have gone, let me go ahead and use a different color here to make it make sense. I got you. So if we go left to right, times 2, 4 times 2 is 8. We see that. So V to 3, that's also going to be times 2. But when you look at it that way, V times 2 equals 3. What you end up really getting is 2 times V equals 3. Notice how it doesn't give you the answer in the same way that if you would have done backwards, 3 divided by 2 equals V. That is just an operation that you got to do, and you're done. So
Okay.
you see, the first way, it doesn't leave the V by itself already. You see that?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why we did that. So we would work backwards there just to be safe about it. But again, the two is still the comparison. You just work backwards, whether multiplication or division. And someone just asked me if I could go ahead and do the cross multiplication and division. I got you. So cross multiplication and division here, it would be this. This would give you 8V equals 12. Divide both sides by 8. And that would give you V equals whatever. And so you could do 8 going into 12. And you see that 8 goes into 12 once. Bring that decimal down. Bring that 0 there. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 1.5, 1.5, same answer. Right there. So actually, hopefully that makes a little more sense there. If long division is something that we need to work on, I do have those worksheets in the math bootcamp that cover everything there. I got you. Cool. So I'm glad you guys got that there. Yeah, again, if it's confusing to you right now, it's likely because we are dealing with decimals. I can definitely see where that confusion is coming from. And so that tells me that you need to go ahead and spend a little more time working with decimals, because that's what's going to prove to build that confidence so you don't get any anxiety over this. And so with that said, I'm going to take Ronald's question first, and then I'll take Jose, moving to the next question, then I'll take the next two. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, actually I understand it even better now, because we're looking for V. So that is the reason why we're working backward, because the 4 is underneath of the V. So that's why, but I understand it even better than before. So that's great.
Hey,
I understand it.
Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Jose, what's up, boss?
I'm curious, like now you're saying about the decimal. So pretty much when you're doing this like types of problems, you could either get an answer as a decimal or as a fraction or just a number.
Yep, exactly. Fractions, decimals, and numbers, they're all numbers. They're all numbers.
Okay. I just want to be sure, like if you're doing, the test and there's like answers as a fraction, decimals, it will be one.
Yeah, it's very possible still to get an answer as a decimal or a fraction. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, you're welcome. And so with that said, Beyonce, since you're the only one with a hand left, go ahead, Beyonce, and then we're moving forward. Let me see if I let you unmute yourself. There we go. Try again. Going once, going twice. All right, moving on. So Beyonce, if you want to type your question out, I got you. So if we're taking out this one here. So if we want to just cross multiply and divide everybody, that's probably the best option for this one. Because notice, there's no easy way to go from 2 to 7. I mean, if you knew that it was times 3.5, great for you. Good for you. Probably looking at you, Christian, looking at you, Mario. But yeah, if you knew it was 3.5, then you could have done that easy, for sure. But if you didn't, cross multiplying and dividing, it's the way to go. And so here's the thing. Here's what I meant, everybody, in terms of not hesitating. Just because you think you might be dealing with a decimal does not mean you should stop, everybody. If you see that you might be dealing with a decimal, then hey, if your brain's telling you, yo, there's going to be a decimal here, good. That way you can be a little more careful, get in there, get it done, and you're good. Don't just stop and turn around, though. Here we are, cross multiplied. We got 2x equals 35. Divide by 2 on both sides. And we got ourselves x equals that. So with that said, boom, 2 going into 35 is what we'll have. And so 2 goes into 3 one time. 2 goes into 15 7 times. And then put that decimal place there. Bring that 0 down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. And we get ourselves 17.5. And there is our answer. Is everybody here realizing that, yes, it is possible to get a decimal, but at the same time, no, it does not change the way we do things. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes, we will probably get decimals at some point or another, but no, that should not affect how you perform your solution. Same stuff, man. Same stuff. It's just the idea of fractions and decimals that throws people off. And I understand that. I understand that 100%. But we have to be willing to learn these things so that it's not a problem on test day. Like if I told you that, yo, if you could improve your decimal game to the point of being like really quick by the end of the week, and I'll give you $50,000, a lot of y'all will be like, hell yeah, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm going to be on the computer learning. Oh, it's grandma's birthday. Shoot, I'll see you next year, grandma. Like that's what a lot of y'all would do. And the thing is, that $50,000 is actually on the table. It's your career. It's your bonus. It's your GI Bill. That's what that is. So y'all need to go ahead and get with the program and realize that you have to do what you got to do to get what you need to get. That's simple. Next, number 11. So here we're checking out 10 over 8 equals 3 over m. Well, here, straight up, cross, multiply, and divide. Everybody, 3 times 8, what's it going to be? 24, correct? And so here, all we have to do is divide by 10, and we're done. So with that said, everybody, we will divide both sides by 10. Everybody, what's the cool thing about dividing by 10? What's the answer going to be here? It's going to be 2.4. That's right. Whenever we divide by 10, really all we have to do is move a decimal place over. So there's two ways of kind of looking at it. I'm going to do long division as well, but watch this. I can do it like this. Those are where the decimal places are. I can move both decimal places one time over. And there you go. This turns into 2.4 divided by 1. Anything divided by 1 is itself. So if you're doing it the other way, I'm going to leave that right there for you. But you could also just go ahead and take a look at this like this. 10 goes into 20 2 times. Ten goes into 40 4 times. So either way, you'll still get it, you'll still have it, and you're all set. And so hopefully that makes sense for sure to everybody. Again, dividing by 10, you can just move the decimal place over, or you can actually perform the division. Either way is fine. Either way. So hopefully that makes sense, everybody. Now we can move on to number 12, and let's go ahead and get it. Oh, Janice, yeah, message me after class. I got that. For sure, I got you on that. And Beyonce, let me know. You can text me if you have it. I got you. So here, when you're looking at this one's actually much less stressful, right, everybody? Because we can take a look at this and say, hey, 5 to 10 times 2, 7 to n, same deal. What's the answer going to be, everybody? This one's definitely a lot more manageable, right? So yeah, this one's going to be n equals 14. N equals 14. And so that concludes the round of warm-ups. Here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to present a problem to you, and I'm going to give you a minute, 15 seconds, and that's it. I'm going to go through this until class is over. I've prepared enough problems to get all of these done. Who here is ready? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. Are you ready to start getting some multiple choice practice in and really crush this today? That's what's up. That's the kind of candor I like to see, everybody. That's the kind of attitude that I want to see, because with that attitude, we can get better regardless of the mistakes we make. So with that said, everybody, a minute, 15 seconds is on the clock. I'm going to give you that much time to find the answer, but please, 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 please do not reveal your answer. Don't share your answer. When I say time's up, that's when you'll share the answer. And the way that I want you to treat this is as if it were test time. You only have a minute 15 to get it done, and that's it. Once time is up, take a guess if you need to, but don't reveal your answer before the time is up. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So with that said, my party people, let's go ahead and check out this proportion. So did anybody here try to cross, multiply, and divide? Yes or no? Anybody here try to cross, multiply, and divide? All right, sounds good. Hey, I see some people trying to cross multiply and divide. Nah, cut. Hey, look. Hey, bro, let me go ahead and show you how to do the math, dog. All right, look. What you gonna do, Rahel? You're gonna go. This ain't the Boondocks. Let's try to cross multiply and divide. Let's see what happens here. Let's see how well we can do this. So if we cross multiply and divide, what's gonna happen here is 45 and x are gonna combine. And then the 35 multiplied by the 9. Yeah. So that's called Ebonics. So yes, I speak the way I do because I am a teacher. Maybe I speak differently when I'm off camera. I don't know. But let's go ahead and let's check it out here. 35 times 9. Oh, I did 45x. That's my fault. Appreciate you. So that'd be 45x. And so from there, we have 35 times 9. So here's the problem with doing it this way. You'll go ahead and have your 35 multiplied by 9, and you'll actually have to compute this. 5 times 9, that's going to give you 45. Then you're going to have 3 times 9, that's going to be 27, plus the 4, 31. So you have 315. So then look at this, everybody. Now that we've cross multiplied, now we're taking a look at this and we're saying, all right, now we got to divide both sides by that 45. Did anybody here get to this point and say, I done messed up, y'all? Did anybody get to this point and say, oh, snap, that ain't fun, right? That can happen. And so that's the reason why when you're solving proportions, again, cross multiplying and dividing will work no matter what, but it might take longer. That's why I wanted to show you this, because again, if you're doing it like that, it's just too much work. One, you already had to do all of this over here. And then two, now you got to figure out what that is. But watch this, everybody. You can do this in one step mentally without putting your pencil to paper. Everybody, ask or answer this for me. How do we go from 45 back to 9? What do we do to 45 to get to 9? What do we do? What do we do to 45 to get down to 9? We will divide by 5. Correct. We will divide by 5. Everybody, proportions, compare the same things in the what? Simone's got it. Yes, in the same way. Everybody write that down. Everybody, proportions, compare the same things in the same way. Everybody write it down. No, the full sentence. Compare the same things in the same way. I'm not moving on until I get at least 50 people to write it. Go. Compare the same things in the same way. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Jaylene. I am going to be that annoying teacher today. I absolutely am. But this is how we grow, everybody. We learn through those mistakes. We accept the mistakes, but we also understand why the mistakes were made. Compare the same things in the same way. We're still missing about 20 people here. Keep it going. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I will wait. Appreciate you, Alex, Loretta, Sam, and come on. Thanks, Gene. Thanks, Ronald. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Joe Marie. A few more. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Anna. One more person. iPhone, Elijah. Thank you. All right, so there it is, everybody. Compare the same things in the same way. And so if we go left to right, dividing by 5, left to right, then we'll go left to right, divide by 5. Everybody, 35 divided by 5 is what? Devin, did you just write that in Japanese? That's funny. So yeah, 35 divided by 5 is going to be 7. That's the answer. You can get that done in one hit. Seriously, right there. You can get it done in one hit. There you go. But think about it. If you would have had to think about, okay, how do I divide 45 into 315? Dude, 45 doesn't go into 3, 31. And so you have to do the 45 into the whole 315. And at that point, you're just guessing and trying different numbers out. And so that's why I want to teach y'all as many different ways to do the same thing as possible so that your confidence doesn't go down into the floor when you see something tough like this with numbers. So yes or no, everybody, do we understand the importance of knowing more than one way to do problems? Because you can get to the answer B in less than 5 seconds. Do we understand that now? That's what this is about, guys. This is not about just knowing how to do it or one way to do it. It's about understanding the best way to do it. And that calls for different things in different situations. Cross multiplying and dividing will absolutely be the best and fastest way in certain situations. Comparing the same things in the same way works great in others. I'm not saying one way is better than the other. I'm just saying that either case presents their own conveniences. That's what that's about. Here we go. Next up, minute 15 again. 3, 2, 1. Let's keep going. Let's ace the ASVAB, guys. Hit it. If we check this out here, and we're trying to go ahead and cross multiply and divide, again, what you may have noticed was that 9 times 20 gives you 180, which is not terribly hard to do. But then you had 36x equals that. Again, is that a convenient situation? Not for me exactly. I'm not going to go that route. So because of that, I'm going to try to look for a faster way. And this is what the ASVAB is all about. Boom. What I'm going to look at here is say, hey, is there any convenience that I can find here to get to x? Maybe I can try right to left. That doesn't quite work, right? I don't know how to go from 36 to 20 pretty quickly. It's not obvious. So maybe I can go bottom to top. Yeah, that might work. Everybody, how do I go from 36 to 90? Or to 9, excuse me, 36 to 9. Right, we can divide by 4 because 9 times 4 is 36. So I can work backwards and divide by 4. And so from there, do the same thing to the other side. Compare the same things in the same way. 20 divided by 4 gives you what, everybody? X equals 5. Booyah, right there, done, no problem. No problemo. No problemo right there. Can't even speak my native language the right way. But there it is. The answer will be A5. There it is. So before I continue, very quickly, yes or no, does this make sense? Right on. I'm looking for any no's here, looking for any no's. If anybody has a no to say, kind of want to hear you out. I want to make sure I'm helping you out. Hey, right on, Taylor. All right, perfect. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and keep it moving, gang. Another question coming up in minute 15. If you divide it by 9, is that wrong? Yeah, it would be wrong. Or you mean like simplified, like the 9 and the 36? Yeah, you could definitely simplify. You could definitely simplify here because then you would have gotten 1 over 4. And then you would have seen that to get to 4 to 20, that's times 5. 1 times 5 gives you 20. That works. Definitely works. 3, 2, 1. Yep, that is going to be B. Here's why. Here is why. So if we take a look here, again, just notice any conveniences that you can. We're trying to get to X right here. If we cross multiplied, we would get 5 times 32, which is 160. But I don't expect you to know that at the top of your head. I don't. So if you went ahead and cross multiplied, if you took your time, you would have gotten 8x equals 160. Then you divide both sides by 8, x equals 20. That's what it would have been. But what you also could have noticed was this. 8 to get to 32 times 4. 5 to get to x is the same relationship because you're comparing the same things in the same way. And so 5 times 4 gives you 20. And so there it is. Both ways work out great. If you're good at mental math, this is heaven for you. If you're good at mental math, something like this is pretty much heaven for you. So with that, there it is. It's a quick one. Answer is 20. Are you guys okay with the pace that I'm working at right now? Are you guys cool with me kind of speeding it up like this to get some more problems? Cool. And again, remember, if you have questions, please say something. Because again, if you're not saying anything, then I'm going to assume it's okay for me to kind of speed it up. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Keep it going, gang. Let's go. Let's see what we got, man. Let's see what we got. Let's go. So if I'm taking a look here, here's what I'm trying to say, everybody. If you want to kind of like, understand a little better, like how we do the whole comparison thing, like, oh, left to right, right to left, up, down, up. Like, how do we know? It's all about analysis. You want to just take a brief moment to analyze what you see and see what can work out. So your first option is not cross multiplying and dividing. Your first option is looking for convenience. That's your first option. So if I'm taking a look, I'm trying to get to the x. So I'm going to ask myself, hey, is there a way for me to go top to bottom? And if I look at it that way, everybody, is there an easy way to go from 8 to 3? Is there an easy way off the top of your head to see that? Yes or no? Yeah, the answer is going to be no. There isn't a super easy way to see that, and you shouldn't expect yourself to do that. But is there a way to go from the 3 to get to the x on the top side? Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to do that? And there is, yes. And a lot of us are saying, yep, the relationship is times 9, because 8 times 9 gives you 72. And so we're allowed to do that. And so we're allowed to repeat the relationship. And we can say 3 to 9 equals 72. Or exactly, excuse me, 3 times 9 is going to give you 27. I said it backwards, 72 and 27, same thing, but backwards. But yeah, so then the x is going to equal 27. So that did it for you there, Krista? Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. That is what's up. Hopefully, I'm glad that that way of explaining it made sense. Because again, it's like a puzzle. You're saying, hey, here's the x. Is there a way that I can get to it, to the x, from the top coming down or from the right going left? Like, again, by doing it that way, you give yourself that opportunity to try to see it in that method. So again, one more time, I got you guys. So here, the idea here is we're trying to get to the x, right? We're trying to get to the x right there. So what you want to ask yourself is, hey, how can I get to the x? I can come down from the 72, or I can go from the 3 to the x. Is there a convenient situation in either case? If I go from 72 down to x, I need to come down from the 8 to the 3, but there is no easy way for me to see that, right? Like 8 to 3 doesn't make too much sense. So screw the red. I don't like that. I'm not going to do it. So then I'm going to go and say, hey, what about the 3 here? Can I go from 3 to x? Can I go from 8 to 72 easily? Ah, yeah, because 8 times 9 is 72. You got to know your mental math there. You've got to know your times tables. And so 8 times 9 gives you 72. 3 times 9 gives you the x, the answer. And 3 times 9 is 27. Boom, there's my answer. No work needed to show on paper, and we're done. So, Natalia, let me know if that makes sense. I got you. Let me know if that helps a little bit. Loretta, I'm glad you understand there. Right on, Christian. Glad this is working out for you. Natalia, made sense. Compare the same things in the same way. That's right, Mario. That's all we have to do. That's all that's expected of us, and we're good to go. Up next, here we go. Let me go ahead and just check out some of these problems that are coming up. I want to start giving you guys some tougher ones here to see how y'all handle yourselves. So let's go with this next one over here. Minute 15, go. Let's go and get it done here. So again, here's how I kind of like to structure things. I'm taking a look here and I'm looking at what my goal is. My goal is the X there. And so what I'm going to ask myself is there a way to go from the top to bottom? So from the 7 down to the X, or is there a way that I can go from the 171 to the X? That's really the question you're asking yourself. Can I go top to bottom? Everybody, is there an easy way that you see to go from 63 to 171? Is there an easy way in your mind to do that? For the red there, for the red arrows? Is that an easy way? Right, not quick enough, right? Even if I knew what it was, it probably would take a little longer than I wanted to. So from 171 to X, that's probably going to be the way that we need to go. Because top to bottom, 163 to 171, not really a convenient way. So I'll just cross that out. But everybody, is there a convenient way to go from 63 to 7? Right. And if we understand our multiplication tables, we can definitely see that. 63 divided by 9 does give us 7. It does. And so that allows us to make a leap here divide by 9 on the top and the bottom, and we're good. But what's the question here? What the heck is 171 divided by 9? It's going to be 19. Only reason I know that is because 171 is really close to 180. 180 divided by 9 is going to be 20. Drop one of the 9s, 19. That's how I know with mental math. But again, I know that not everybody is keen on mental math. So literally, all I got to do is this. 171 divided by 9. That's all I got to do. That's all you got to do. So 9 going into 17, that's going to be 1 time. Then you're going to get 8, drop the 1. Everybody, 9 goes into 81. How many times? Boom. And your answer is 19. Your answer will be 19. And that's why A is the answer. Yeah, and the thing is, you can absolutely use the answers here, everybody. You know why? Because if you check this out, think about it like this. I got to go ahead, and if you want to take a look at this way, this is actually a pretty cool way to do it. Everybody, if I did 60 times 3, what would that be? What is 60 times 3? Everybody, answer that for me right now. It's okay, Brittany, I got you. What is 60 times 3? Mario hit me with a 180. Who agrees? 60 times 3. Right, 180. It would. Everybody, look at how you can estimate and still get the answer. Look at your choices. 19, 171, 576, and 1500. These answers are really far apart. If I multiplied by 3, that would be about 180. So 171 is less than that. So maybe a little less than that 3 right there. So if I do 7 times 3, right over here on this side, that'd be about 21, but I'm expecting a little less than 21. Which of these answers is a little bit less than 21? Pretty close to it. Right there. Right there. That could work out. That could work out. So again, a few different ways that you could estimate if the answer choices are lined up conveniently for you as well, but that would still take a true understanding of proportions to be able to use the answer choices the way that we just did. So again, it really depends on each situation, but yeah, it can definitely work out. I like the O's in the comments, but yeah, that can definitely work out. So let's go and try this next one out again, everybody. Let's go ahead. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The answer here, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be C, but let me explain why. Let me go ahead and explain why. The answer is going to be C. Here's why. So if I'm taking a look here, which answers can we automatically eliminate, everybody? Which answers can we probably eliminate right away? Valerie says A, Kayla says A and B, David says A and B, A. Yeah, of course. Yep, those we can eliminate automatically. Jose, I see you. I got you. So we can eliminate these automatically because if you look at it, everybody, doesn't it make sense that if you're going from 19 to 209, you're multiplying by a big number? Yes or no, everybody? If you go 19 to 209, you're multiplying by a big number. That's pretty fair to say, right? Cool. So that means 17 times that same big number, there's no way it's going to be 11 or 17. No way at all. Does everybody see that there? If you were going to take a guess, you could at least look at the choices and be like, yo, A and B are out of here. There's no way A or B could be the answer. That's the one thing I want to point out. So if you are struggling or were struggling with this question, you can give yourself a 50% chance right there out the gate automatically. You can tell yourself, boom, I'm good. I'm good. I can give myself a 50-50 shot at getting this right. So from there, here's how we can actually do this. If you're looking at this and you're saying, yo, I have no idea what I'm doing. Everybody, what is the go-to method? What is it again? If you don't see a convenient situation, what do we always do? Absolutely. Cross multiply, then divide. If you don't see anything convenient here, anything at all, and there's nothing that you can see that you can simplify, cross multiply and divide. There is some simplification that you can do, and I'll show you it in a second. But allow me to go through here. 19 times x. And if you look at this and you immediately start calculating, you're going to be in a good spot. This is fine. 17 into 209, watch this. All right, cool. So 209, you just have to work quickly. 7 times 9, 63. 0 times 7 is 0, bring the 6. 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 0. Then 9 times 1, 9, 0, 2, add together, 3, 15, 5, then that's going to be 3. 3,553. Does that look like it's fun? I don't care. I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to do my thing and get the answer right. Divide both sides by 19. Then cross that out. And now what we're going to have is 19 going into 3,553. And so from there, what we're going to have is the following. 19 goes into 35 just once, because 19 twice is 38. Got to know your times tables. So with that, boom, subtract 19. We're going to have 16 left. Then from there, bring the 5 down. Oh, crap. And now you may be looking at this like, oh, crap, what do we do? Well, 19 times 10, 190. Then you take away 19, take away 20. That's going to end up being about 171. That's not going to work. So you know it's going to be 8. So now I'm just spitballing here. This is where it really comes into play how much mental math you actually know. See? So this is still going to be a toughie, because 19 times 8, that's going to be 9 times 8, 72. And notice how annoying this can be. 152 is going to be the answer there. And you get 13. And now you still have to figure out how many times 19 goes into 133, right? And so now you're sitting here like, yo, what is going on? And so what you're going to do next is you're going to take a look at this and you're going to ask yourself, well, how many times does 19 go into 133? And now from there, well, what's that going to be? 7. And so boom, 19 times 7. And again, this is how annoying it can possibly be. This is how annoying it can actually be. That's going to give you the exact 133 to give you 187. So really quick before I continue, was that fun? Was that fun? No, right? Anna saying, yeah. Well, Anna, you are a special type of masochist. But everybody else, I mean, I think we can all agree that that's a definite no, right? That's a definite no. No, that's a hard no. But we still got the right answer. But notice it's going to take a little bit longer. So let me show everybody the alternate way to do this. And if you know your mental math, like this is so convenient, man. I'm telling you right now. Watch this. 19 over 17 equals 209 over x. What you might not have noticed was that 19 goes into 209 11 times. Because think about it like this. 19 times 11 is literally 19 times 10 and 19 times 1. 10 and 1 is 11, right? 190, 19, 209. If you would have noticed that from the very get-go, and again, I'm not saying that everybody should notice that, has to notice that, but if you did notice that, you noticed a times 11 relationship that you can emulate right here and only have to do 17 times 11. 1 times 7, 1 times 1, 1 times 7, 1 times 1, 187, and we're done. Thoughts on that? Go ahead. What are your thoughts on that? Besides vomit. What are your thoughts on that? So Samuel, what if you didn't know the times 11? All of this right here would have happened. All of that. All of that. That's the thing. That's the thing. It did make you sweat because you're trying to do it as fast as possible, which I do. I am so proud of you guys for really working as hard as you can there. I can't say those words on my thoughts in this class, coach. That's gold, man. That's gold. I love you guys. But that's the thing, though. You know, we have to know it. We have to know our stuff because it can save us from inconvenient situations. But yeah, once you understand the technical side, it does get a lot easier. So I want to take some questions here real quick. Jose up first. And again, if you're trying to sign up for the program, I did include the information right there if you'd like to sign up for it. I'll go and explain a little bit about it before you guys head out today. All right. So Jose, go ahead.
Coach, I have a question. I was thinking about that. How do you know when you're supposed to be going backwards or forward? I know backwards is divide and forward is multiply, but how do you know in a problem like this? Like, does the x have to be on the left side or does it really matter?
It doesn't matter. It's all about how you get to the x. So if I'm looking at it like this, here's the x. I'm going to ask myself, okay, how can I go from, let's say, 209 to x? So I ask myself over here, how do I go from 19 to 17? Okay, that's not convenient. Let me try the other way. Can I go from here to here? Okay, does 19 go into 209? And you notice that to go from a small number to a big number, you multiply. From a small to a big, and you just look at the numbers from one number to the next.
So pretty much just look at the numbers then, and then you'll get your answer. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. You just look at the numbers and you ask yourself, okay, how do I go from this one to this one?
Yeah.
Multiply or divide. And if you know it, you know it. If you don't, start cross multiplying.
Yeah, because I wanted to be sure, because in other problems I seen, I was like, oh, you could divide and multiply, but then I was kind of like, does it really matter? But I guess now I see it.
Hey, no, good question though. Want to make sure everybody sees it that way too, man. Good stuff. Christian, go ahead, boss.
So I'm assuming it is, but I did this one quickly with just dividing 19 by 209, getting 11, and then multiplying 17. Because would you recommend that for really? I mean, does it work with any problem?
Yeah. So the reason that would have been a smart thing to do is because if you think about it, if you know how many times 19 goes into 209, that's going to save you so much more time than dividing 19 into 3,550. Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you can do that with any of these. Just to find it quick if you can't do it mentally like that.
Yeah, like if you're looking at this on the ASVAB and you're saying, yo, I gotta multiply 19 or 209 by 17.
Yeah, hell no.
That's a trick automatically. When you see disgusting on the ASVAB, there is a trick. I can promise you that.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Hey, no worries. And so I see Linda had her hand up next. What's up, Linda?
Quickly, I want to ask, hi everyone. With your questions, you always say solve the following proportion. Quick question, I want to say during the ASVAB, are they going to be saying, are they going to be stating it that is a proportion or what? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. So today is all about mastering, like solving the actual solving proportion. Tomorrow, we're looking at only advanced proportion word problems.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. Is it going to be stated in the questions in the ASVAB, like solve the following proportion, like 19 over 17 to 9 over x?
Solve the following equation. They could say solve for x. They can just say whatever. You know it's a proportion. You know you're looking at a proportion if you see fraction equals fraction. If you see fraction equals fraction, it's proportion.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. And so with that said, everybody, so there that is. I do want to give you guys one more question to work off of if you would like to take a picture of this and try this out to solve it. So I'll go ahead and give you this one over here. So I'll give you this final one here. Go ahead and take a picture of it and solve it if you'd like to, or take a picture of it. Because again, guys, like I know I've been like really pepped up right now. But I have not been feeling well at all today, so I am going to be honest about that. So I am going to leave it there. But David, I will answer your question. Go ahead, David. So yeah, go.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
What's up, man?
What's up? Now, the proportion problem, I did understand it. It was very simple to me, but it's just that mental math part. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of slow on the mental math, especially being timed. Yeah, that was kind of sweated my hoodie a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you. So I would just want to say, like, what would you recommend to get my mental math, a bit quicker when it comes to the ASVAB?
Yeah, two things, man. So one is going to be downloading the free mental math flashcards app from the App Store. If you have an iPhone, download that. And two, join my program if you're not already in there. You're already in there, David, right?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
So I literally got like 12 classes on mental math that you could watch, and I got worksheets in the that you could practice your mental math with.
Nice.
I'll be sending out texts like every 2 weeks with updates.
Right.
Yeah, so check that out, man. It's all there. It's all ready for you. So if you need help finding that, just text me after class. I'll be responding first thing in the morning. Again, I got to dip. I gotta make sure I take care of myself real quick.
Right.
It's in the math boot camp. It should be under operations, like arithmetic operations. You see a ton of worksheets in there, and just get in there and practice.
All right. Thank you, coach.
Yeah.